Welcome to Learn by Choice. So in this video we are going to talk about forensic audit. SEBI has mandated the listed companies to make proper disclosures to the exchanges about the forensic audit whatever is initiated by the company. There are some interesting news articles on this subject. Disclosure norms on forensic audit, will they serve the intended purpose? It's a Mint article. And in Economic Times, the NASSCOM is against the SEBI advisory or diktat which opposes the forensic audit disclosure rules. SEBI asks listed companies to disclose forensic audit information to the exchanges. Bank frauds, it has more than doubled in the FY20 to reach 1.85 lakh crores. It's an RBI report. Bank frauds increased 1.6 times from the previous year to reach 1.85 lakh crores. So RBI blames the banks for its failure for creating some kind of early warning systems to detect the frauds and contain the frauds. So let us see what is forensic audit. SEBI has advised the listed entities to make proper disclosures about the forensic audit. So the main purpose of the SEBI action is to curb or to stop the information asymmetry. So by doing so, SEBI is trying to create a equal platform wherein that information is available to all the investors. So what happens if a company is initiating some kind of forensic audit? There are some people have exclusive information on this particular report, so they may use it for their own benefit. Because of that, some people may gain unduly and some of the people may not gain or they may lose unduly. To avoid that, any initiation of forensic audit by the company has to be disclosed to the exchanges. So this is compulsory. So for doing so, the SEBI has amended its listing regulations. Once the forensic audit is initiated, that information has to be submitted to the exchanges. Once the forensic audit report is ready, that report also has to be submitted to the exchanges along with management comments. That is very important. Forensic audit can be initiated in two fronts. One is by the regulatory body. Maybe it's a IRDA for insurance companies, or it may be SEBI or RBI, or it may be any other regulatory bodies. They may initiate this forensic audit for a particular company or enforcement agency. So this information anyway it will be available in public domain. So there is no need for a company to disclose about the first category, which is regulatory body and enforcement agency initiated forensic audit. But if the company is doing on its own, then that information has to be given. So what is forensic? Forensic means creating some kind of evidence or collecting some kind of evidences which is suitable for court in the court of law. This has to be. So the reasons for SEBI mandate, there are 5 areas. Selective leaks. So the forensic audit, if not submitted in the public domain, or if it is not placed in the public domain, the information can be selectively leaked by someone to get unfair advantage, and the information available can be used by the people close to the management for doing some kind of insider trading using this unpublished price sensitive information so that they may get higher benefit or maybe the illegal benefit out of it. And the forensic audit can be selectively interpreted even by the management. For example, the report says 10 violations, but they may highlight only one area where there is no kind of violations or illegal activity. So it is called selective interpretation of the report. And normally the forensic audit, if it is initiated not disclosed, the price of the share price can be volatile, or it may go up or go down suddenly. That can be contained if the FA information is placed in the public domain. Then the whistleblower, there are a lot of whistleblowers, they are writing about unfairness or maybe the fraud happened in a particular company, and this is a governance issue. So that is why this SEBI has made the forensic audit report publicly available to each and everyone. So normally forensic audit detects 3 things: fictitious accounts, any benami accounts, or diverting the loans. For example, you take a loan for some purpose, but you are diverting for some other purpose which is not meant to be. Then there may be economic offense. You are taking the money and you are diverting, or you are transferring to some shell companies, or you are transferring somewhere. So these are all classified as economic offense. So what is forensic audit? Forensic audit is different from the normal audit. It needs a lot of skill sets. Forensic audit is a scientific process for examining the financial transaction between two parties. any financial transaction, there will be two parties are involved and both the parties have to comply with certain kinds of regulations. And if they don't comply, it's a crime or it's an offense or it's a fraud or it's a discrepancy or siphoning of funds or loan diversions, or it may be bribe also to get some benefit, or it may be conflict of interest. For example, you are a promoter of a company or a director of company, you are not supposed to do certain activity, but you are doing that. That will be come to light through the forensic audit. The negligence of fiduciary duty, you are doing some activity as a trustee or maybe in the capacity as a fiduciary, then you are not supposed to do some commercial activity that you are doing, then it will come to light through this forensic audit. Then window dressing, artificially inflating the balance sheet or maybe the invoices, or maybe the willful defaults. You take a loan but you don't want to pay, even though you have a means to pay, but you don't pay. So forensic audit is a specialized audit. It's a mix of accounting and auditing and legal skills, and on the top of it you should have the investigative mindset and also you should have the technology savviness. High value loan accounts, if it is becoming an NPA or non-performing, then the forensic audit is must. This is as per RBI. So in the RBI report 2019-20, all banks, they have reported 1.85 lakh crores of fraud. So out of this 1.85 lakh crore, majority are loan frauds, diversion or willful default or maybe some fraudulent documents or fraudulent invoices or fraud companies, shell companies, all kind of activities. So if a loan is detected or maybe it's a fraud, it's proved fraud, then the banks have to provide 100% from their provision. For example, 100 crore is detected as a corporate fraudulent loan, then in that case 100 crore have to be provided. So it's a loss to the, straightaway loss to the banks. Then even in this 1.85 lakh crores, the top 50 accounts, fraudulent accounts, constitutes nearly 80%, or to be precise 76%. So rest of this amount, small amounts are credit card fraud, debit card fraud, net banking fraud. Some activities through which also borrowers are getting skills or adept in availing fraudulent loans through forex, foreign exchange business, or off balance sheet items or guarantees, LCs, they are all making frauds. So what are the challenges? So challenges of implementation of the SEBI diktat, which is that the company has to disclose about forensic audit. The challenge is that board's independent. So board is independent of a company, that they are initiating suo motu some forensic audit that has to be disclosed. So there may be some fraudulent activity or there may be suspicion of fraudulent activity, but actually there is no fraud at all. In that case, the board independence is being diluted. Then there may be reputation loss. So for example, a company is carrying out FA, but actually there is nothing in that, the report. Then till that time the report is ready and there is maybe a reputation loss. Then the purpose for which the forensic audit is made mandatory may be sometimes may be counterproductive also. For example, some companies they may initiate, but it's not going to serve the purpose. Because of that, till the report is submitted, till the company is coming clean, so there may be some undue advantage. So still the price will be sensitive because of that. Then the small investors will be again, they will be susceptible to all the loss. Then the undesirable fluctuation, as I told you, this still the report is ready. Even forensic audit is initiated, but there may be some speculation in the market that there may be something wrong going on in the company. Forensic audit has to be kept confidential so that the information can be found fully about the fraud, but because of this disclosure, then there may be breach of this confidentiality. That may be another challenge. So when to conduct FA? It's not that all financial transactions are susceptible for FA, but if you feel that the company feel that there may be suspicion or fraud, or there may be a difference between that account balance, cash balance in the account and also the turnover. There are a lot of sales are happening, but it is not reflecting in the account balance. There may be some reconciliation account. In all companies, it's all double entry. Maybe one head is not matching with the other. Then there may be, it's a reason for initiating FA. Theft of data, maybe personal data or maybe commercial data is being taken away by illegal means. Then whistleblower, somebody is writing to the company or board or maybe regulatory body that there may be some fraud is happening, then it has to be suo motu FA has to be initiated. So what's the process of forensic audit? First of all, it has to be planned, what purpose it is going to solve, and planning the activity. Then you have to gather enough evidence, then examine it and prepare a report, and it has to be submitted to the court. Some of the methods through which the frauds are happening, especially in corporates, is misappropriation of cash. raising fake invoices and creating a bill for the non-existing vendors and inventory theft, then inflating or window dressing the balance sheet by omitting certain transaction, high value transaction, then forgery. Thank you for watching Learn by Charles.